But according to the best of my knowledge, as of 3 years ago, you'll have about 3 people who study Torah in its original language, can pick up a sefer, a holy book in Judaism, and open it up and be literate in the language and study it every day. At Yik, Young Israel Century City, you may have up to 10 or 12 people who study Torah every day. At Beth Jacob, you'll have probably 50. So Beth Jacob has the highest percentage of learners. They also don't go in for any of this left-wing nonsense about dropping brachas. You go to Eshet Torah, you maybe have 1 or 2 people who study Torah every day because they're largely a bunch of Baalei Tshuva and converts, so they're not literate in the languages of our tradition. So if you're looking for like serious Torah study in Pico Robertson, you're going to have to go to, generally speaking, to Beth Jacob or to maybe some of the other shuls outside of modern Orthodox. So we're getting a new synagogue in Pico Robertson, the Link Kollel, which stands for Los Angeles Intercommunity Kollel.
I know I used to learn with the head of that guy, the guy who's the head of it.
So that's some pretty serious Torah learning. They don't go in for any of this left-wing nonsense.
He's not modern Orthodox. He's yeshivish.
He's right-wing modern Orthodox.
All right, so now we're going to get into labels, right? We're going to get into labels. What you call right-wing modern Orthodox, I call yeshivish.
Yeah.
I call that yeshivish. What you're describing, and the people you're describing, to me is like yeshivish.
People who study Torah for more than an hour a day, generally
it's
speaking,
not that. It's
are
not that.
right-wing.
It's
That's largely what it is. People who study Torah don't go in for this feminist nonsense.
Okay, but it's like, where is your value system? Do you have a Torah value system, or do you have a Goyish
Well, it's
value
hard to
system?
have a Torah value system if you don't immerse yourself in Torah every day. These people say, oh, I have a Torah value system, but they're reading Gloria Steinem.
I'm looking at Link. I saw their advertisement that they're starting, and to me it looks like yeshivish. It looks yeshivish. It doesn't look.
It is yeshivish, and it's also right-wing modern Orthodox.
All right, so you know what?
It's
My whole vort was talking about the left-wing modern Orthodox.
Progressive.
And it seems like there's a dividing line.
Yeah.
Very gray area between yeshivish and right-wing modern Orthodoxy.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to know something? Like, I have maybe a few family members who are straddling that gray area, right? Because, like, you met my sister.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, you can't peg her.
She's yeshivish.
She looks yeshivish.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, there's some modern Orthodox tendencies in there. Right? So it's like, it's like somewhere, you know what I mean? It's like, it's on that gray, right-wing modern Orthodox, not left-wing.
Where the right-wing modern Orthodox would differ from what is often called Haredi or traditional Orthodox Jews is that they put a huge premium on you earn your way. You get a good job, you get an education, and you earn your way. It's not okay to beg for money unless, in extreme circumstances. So that is like one of the distinctions between right-wing modern Orthodoxy and more easygoing forms of traditional Orthodox Judaism.
Right. I would recant on my entire statement and say it's not modern Orthodoxy. It's just left-wing modern Orthodoxy. I have a huge problem with. Now there's some chat room stuff, and I can't like ignore it. Okay. I gotta just. Ugh. First of all, I think this Reb Taco is Chaim Amalek.
Okay.
Right. Let me ask you: does this describe him that he grew up?
No, it's not.
Black hatter and became an atheist?
Okay, so yeah.
Okay, so that Reb Taco is Chaim Amalek, and he said earlier that he alluded to that, maybe Rabs is gay, right? But he said he's not going to comment on that, but he will say that he's never been married, and the reason why he's not married is because he only dates women who are much younger than him, and he doesn't want kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they got into a conversation about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that the reason that is that this was his quote. Chaim Amalek is almost always wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, because no woman would let their daughter marry somebody my age.
Mm-hmm.
That's fictitious because
Mm-hmm.
like the woman I'm going out with right now, right, is young, and her mother loves him and is pushing the daughter to marry me. So, all right, whatever. So I just wanted to put that in, and no, I'm not gay. And when you know what I can't stand is when people see someone our age and they're still single,
Yeah.
and there's like an assumption like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe they're gay because they're not married.
Yeah.
I hate that. That needs to go, right? That needs to go from people's thoughts. But I mean, it's always there because that's what people think, right? I'm sure
Right.
people think that about you all the time.
Yeah, but they thought that when I was 21 too. So when I was
That's a
17,
whole other
or
thing.
the time I got caught in the, I don't want to go back there, but I'm a different man now.
What are they saying?
Rab should work for the TSA. He'll get to know everyone personally.
I don't need to work for my test. I got family members working.
Shall we move on to the Parsha?
Let's move on to the Parsha. All right, so do me a favor tomorrow. When you
Yeah.
when you make the videos special, don't make a rant of me going off on modern Orthodox because I corrected it later and it's only left-wing modern Orthodox. Okay, do me a favor.
Okay.
Don't try to create unnecessary problems.
Has anyone ever given you, like, has your life been, has anyone given you a seriously hard time that, like, damaged your life for anything you've said on these shows?
No, because I always come to you the next day and correct the problem before it goes public. I'm just saying, I don't want to go out on YouTube, like a special YouTube, Rab's going off on modern Orthodoxy. Oh, everybody catch this. And then you go to shul tomorrow. Ooh, check out Rab's going off on modern Orthodoxy. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think they would even care?
I don't know. It's
Like,
going
modern
off.
Orthodox don't care what someone in Payers says about them.
They really don't? No, but I got to go deal with these people, you know what I mean?
But do you think, even then, do you think they care what your opinions are? I don't think they care. That's just my. I could be wrong. Like, they could be. Oh, you know. I don't think they give a damn. That's my perception. What's your perception?
I don't know.
Okay.
But rather than cause trouble, just go off on left-wing modern Orthodox. I have no problem with that. Go ahead.
So how did you spend two?
Oh, Texas scored while we were doing this.
That's goyish nonsense. I'm trying to talk
one other
holy
thing.
words of Torah.
One other thing from the chat room.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a question and they said, "Rabs, maybe Rabs is modern Orthodox
Because he watches TV.
because I watch TV and goyish nonsense and and I pay attention to sports and politics." I explained this earlier. The person may not have been in the chat room and they may not even be in it now. There's a difference. The difference is I don't try to change Torah to fit in with that, right? That's my own personal stupidities, my own personal nonsense, right? Is like I'm a sports addict and I'm and I follow politics and all these other things that is goyish nonsense, and I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
Right? That's my problem. That's my lack of avoda. Avoda is.
It's our failing that we know so much
Yeah,
about
it's my
sports.
sins, right?
Yeah.
And I'm honest, and I'm friends with my sins. Those are my sins, but that doesn't make me modern Orthodox, right?
Right.
I can be, I follow what I believe to be true, right? What I believe to be true is Torah from Kai. Torah from Kai. Right? I don't know what the label is for it, right? I follow, I know it to be true. Whether I follow all of it, that's my personal thing. I sin right and left.
Yeah.
I say Lashon Hora. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching the Angel game, I'm talking about shtush, I do all these terrible things. Right?
Yeah.
That's me. I take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Right? That's me not fitting in with this Torah, but I kept the Torah set very high. It's a very high bar. Only your moral leader, right?
Exactly.
It can hold by that high bar.
Yeah, exactly.
All right? I can't hold there. Okay? I can't hold there. But I don't bring the bar down to me and go, well, let's just make it, like I'll just go hang out, with the conservative or the modern Orthodox. I don't try to go down there and where everyone or the rabbi will say, that's perfectly fine, that's good, you should be learning about secular stuff or whatever. This is good. Read, what was that book you called it? Read, what was her name?
Gloria Steinem.
Gloria Steinem. You should be reading that next. Oh, wonderful.
The head of the conservative seminary in the mid 20th century, Louis
Pasteur.
Louis someone, he was on the cover of Time magazine, but he told his conservative rabbis that he was training, you can't understand